What's going on, guys? Coming to y'all with a random video here. Doing this mostly because I know a lot of folks are saying that Control is dead in Standard. We no longer have a Control deck because Ravnica rotated out, and the good old-fashioned Sphinx's Revelation Supreme Verdict deck is no longer an option. Blue-White Control was tearing up the format last season. I believe that it won the M15 Pro Tour. I think it was Ivan Flock who won, eventually by swinging in with a bunch of flying soldiers and the sheep off the Archangel. It wasn't even the flying soldiers. That's how he won, I think, the second or third game. But the final game was won off Archangel of Thune, double Nyxly's Ram, which is kind of neat. But anyway, Control, I know a lot of folks are saying that it's dead because you no longer have the amazing card draw and the amazing nuke. Obviously, Supreme Verdict, a 4-drop nuke that can't be countered with, well, it's a nuke. Then you have the Sphinx's Revelation to gain X life and draw X cards for X, a blue, and a white and double blue. Now, with these cards gone, is Control really dead? I'm going to argue the other way and say no. We saw Stanislav Sivka, as well as Ivan Flock, and quite a few other people playing variants of a blue-black Control deck at the Khans of Tarkir Pro Tour. And they were doing pretty well with it. They made it all the way to the top 8. I know Ivan Flock did. And they really were tearing the format up with a very new deck that I think will be perfected over time. I feel like Blue-Black Control will be the primary Control deck of the format. I do think that it might climb up to be almost as powerful as the Blue-White Control deck. The main reason why, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit here. I have a few cards that I'm going to show y'all that are kind of replacements if y'all want to keep trying to do the blue-white thing. And I'll do that after I talk about why I think blue-black Control is still one of the better options. Supreme Verdict is very easily replaced with Perilous Vaults, and Sphinx's Revelation is very easily replaced with Dig Through Time. In some ways, these are actually better options than their previous versions. Obviously, with the Supreme Verdict, you blow up all creatures for 4. But the Perilous Vault, on the other hand, exiles all non-land permanents for 4 to cast and 5 to play and tap. With Artifact Hate not being a thing in Standard at the moment, I didn't see a single Shatter or Naturalize at all during the Pro Tours and Grand Prix to deal with Perilous Vaults. It's a great card to put on the board to make your opponent play around. If they get too brave and too greedy and dedicate a lot to their board, whether it's Planeswalkers, enchantments, or whatever, just exile the Perilous Vault and boom, throw down another Perilous Vault, and keep repeating the process. So in some ways, it's a little bit better than Verdict. Yes, they do see it coming, but honestly, who did not see Quicken Supreme Verdict coming in the format last time? Everyone knew that if they dedicated it to their board, it would be Quicken into Supreme Verdict. Next turn, if you have any more creatures, maybe you had a Voice of Resurgence, another Supreme Verdict, sweep up the board, play a land, pass the turn, end of your Sphinx's Revelation for 4 or 5, and it was a very predictable deck. So it's not like we're really losing anything as far as elements of surprise. I feel like Perilous Vault is a great replacement to Supreme Verdict. Also, with Fate Reforged coming out, a card called Crux of Fate has been spoiled. For 2 black and 3, at sorcery speed, you can either destroy all dragon creatures or all non-dragon creatures. This is great for the blue-black Control deck because it can deal with the entire board, more or less. Or even if you're just staring down an annoying Stormbreath Dragon, you can still take that Stormbreath Dragon right out of the game. So it does kind of suck that you can't wipe the entire board. Let's say you're playing Mardu mid-range, and they've got a Butcher of the Horde and Stormbreath Dragons and Goblin Rabble Masters. Yeah, it kind of sucks that you can't kill the Stormbreath if you want to kill everything else that they have. But it's another card that they can run on the deck. I suspect we'll see anywhere between 2 to 4 Perilous Vault main board with 1 Crux of Fate main board and a second one sideboarded, just in case they're not playing the Stormbreath deck. I feel like Crux of Fate was going to be a very popular card when Fate Reforged comes out and really strengthen the blue-black Control. Moving over here to the Dig Through Time Sphinx's Rev argument, I want to really focus on this one. Okay. Now, a lot of people will argue that Sphinx's Rev is a lot better than Dig Through Time, but I'm going to argue the other way around. Sphinx's Revelation required 3 mana to start out with, and you had to, pay X to gain X and draw X. Now, that life gain bit was amazing. I will admit, gaining you life, giving you time to play your cards, is perfect. But at the end, you're drawing a random X cards and hoping to get something you can use. Versus Dig Through Time, usually in the late game, and we will have a late game if you're playing Control correctly, you can delve away 6 cards at the end of your opponent's turn, pay 2 mana, look at the top 7, get 2 cards, and it essentially, in a lot of cases, will act like a double Demonic Tutor for 2 blue. And you could end up pulling something off your deck like Perilous Vault's Pearl Lake Ancient, or Pearl Lake Ancient Dig Through Time, and really just get what you need to take the game into your own hands. In this sense, I feel like Dig Through Time is better than Revelation. It's more controlled as to what you get, and it's a little bit easier to cast. That's my honest opinion. You may have an argument to say otherwise, but I feel like Dig Through Time more than replaces Sphinx's Revelation. I also feel like Dig Through Time should have been a mythic and not just a regular rare. But Sphinx's Rev, while it was an amazing card, I do think that Dig Through Time has as much, if not more, potential, especially when we have cards like Tigum Scheming, Jace the Living Guild Pact, and a few other cards that actually let you put cards into your graveyard. So, yeah, Dig Through Time, really good strong card, a great replacement to the Sphinx's Rev. Now, let's say you still want to play Blue-White. Maybe you don't want to play Blue-Black Control, you don't like the Thoughtseize, Murderous Cut, Bile-Blight style gameplay, you don't like the Perilous Vault, Pearl Lake Ancient gameplay. Blue-White Control can still be done. Obviously, you'd still want to use the Dig Through Time, because it's a great replacement to Sphinx's Rev. As far as nukes, you're not without options. You can run the Perilous Vault if you like that option. Being colorless, it can go into any control deck you want to put it in. And Hostilities is a great replacement to Supreme Verdict as well. Yeah, it costs 1 more, but if you read the text, you destroy all creatures and all permanents attached to them. So if equipments become a thing in this format, you can deal with equipment, you can deal with enchantments, you can deal with any creature bestowed onto the creature. You're playing the Abzan decks or whatever, they have the Boon Satyrs and the Herald of Torments. You can go, okay, for 5, I'm going to blow up all creatures and all permanents attached to them, get rid of your bestowed creatures. I also feel like this might become a thing in Modern if the Bogle deck ever comes back, because you can essentially turn their card back into a 1/1 hexproof, and that's it, wiping the field of all their enchantments. So I feel like End Hostility can be a thing in Modern too, but it's mostly a way to replace Supreme Verdict in Standard, if you want to do Blue-White Control. Then of course we have the more expensive Fated Retribution. Now this is a 7-drop at instant speed that destroys all walkers and creatures, and if it's your turn, you get to scry 2. So it's a lot more expensive than the End Hostilities or the Supreme Verdict. Put these all down where you can see them. Let's get these things in frame. However, it is a viable option if you really are fearing the walker decks or the aggro decks and mid-range decks. It is something that you can use. So I don't personally feel like Control is dead. We still have a lot of great cards, guys. Blue-Black Control, y'all got the Ancients, y'all got the Perilous Vaults, y'all got the Thoughtseize, the Bile-Blights, the Murderous Cut. In certain situations, maybe the Extinguish All Hope. That's a decent nuke for a 6-drop. Sorcery, destroy all non-enchantment creatures. That can do the job, too. Blue-Black Control players. Prognostic Sphinx is a thing. If you want to do Blue-White Control, you've still got plenty of options. I personally do Red-Blue-White Control, going with the Jeskai. So, there's a lot of different options out there for Control. I do feel like it can make a comeback if we push hard enough. If you guys love Control, you don't care about aggro, you don't care about mid-range, you don't care about tempo, you don't have to take the Jeskai tempo or Abzan mid-range approach that everybody else is taking. If you want to play Control, have fun. This is Magic. Anything is possible. Any deck can be done if you spend enough time getting it right and preparing it for the meta. So, these are just my thoughts. If you guys have an opinion, comment down below. I love hearing other people's opinion. Y'all like Control? Y'all dislike Control? Do y'all want to see more Control? Or are y'all happy that the Revelation Supreme Verdict deck rotated out? Alright, well, comment. Let me know. And I'll catch you on my next video. Take care.